Hello everyone, what's going on? Hopefully everybody can hear me a-okay. Hopefully we're cool. I've got my little outfit, my cosplay on for Revenge of the Fifth. I had to go for the bad guy look, obviously. And I know that some of you are going to be surprised that I'm actually not cosplaying Kylo Ren this morning. Good morning, Tim. It's good to see you. Jordan Crawford, welcome in. Andrew, Chris, I see Gina, I see Jennifer. Loud and clear, excellent. RJ, it is good to see you folks. I hope you are all having a wonderful morning. I thank you all for joining me bright and early. Paula, welcome in from Nashville. Awesome. But my name is VooDoo Val, and I am going to be your host for the second episode of Star Wars Goodness. Yesterday was May the 4th, so we did our May the 4th Be With You stream where we painted, so I know, no Kylo, I'm shook too. We painted some light side characters, which was really fun. We did like a Jedi Twi'lek, and then today is May 5th, which means it is Revenge of the Fifth. So we have to get into some bad guys today. We gotta paint up some villains. And I am actually not going to paint a Force sensitive character today, which is, I know it's like super weird for me because I'm all about like the Force sensitive bad guys. But we are actually going to do a portrait of a character that I absolutely love that I feel did not get enough attention in the movies, and that is Captain Phasma. I've done one other painting of Captain Phasma years ago, and I have since read her novel and everything, and I just think she's super cool. So we're gonna do like an action-packed portrait of Captain Phasma. Everyone in chat, I encourage you to join in with the Star Wars art with me. If you folks tweet me any Star Wars art or tag me in any Star Wars art on Instagram for this special occasion, I will do my best to repost and retweet everything. Get you guys a nifty Star Wars shout out. Anthony Jackson, it's good to see you. Chris Renz, your name is perfect for today. But yeah, so we're gonna jump into it, but before we start painting, I do want to go over the schedule and let you guys know what is coming up after me today, because I am only the start of the day. So let me bump over here. So we're starting off the day with Star Wars inspired illustrations with me, followed by the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Paul Tranny. We're going to have some illustration with Lisa Marie at 9:30 Pacific time, and then at 11:30 we are going to have the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with Claudie from Print My Soul. Marissa Blair will be working on Adobe XD workflows and pro tips at noon, followed by the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge with Howard Pinsky, and then we're going to end the day with Paul Tranny and Veronica Belmont working in Adobe Spark. So it's going to be a pretty awesome day. There's so much coming up. Val is a well-known Sith apologist. Don't listen to her propaganda. Listen, David, Renee, I'm on the stream today. You can't stop me. There's nothing you can do. It's all dark side today. It's all bad guys today and how cool they are. And you know they're cool. They're the best dressed. They're the best. Derek, welcome in. George, it's good to see you. All right, so I'm going to jump over to my sketch that I have of Phasma. Because I do have a sketch prepared for us today. This is my Phasma sketch. I'm liking it pretty well. I have done one other painting, like I mentioned, and after I finished that painting, a lot of people asked me how I painted her armor, so I'm hoping to kind of jump into like a tutorial of sorts, I guess, to just kind of explain how I painted her chrome armor. I'm going to show you my previous one, so you guys can see. I don't know that we'll get to this level of detail in the broadcast because we are limited on time, but I know that I can go over basically how I did this. So this is my Star Wars fan art project on Behance. I have a specific project dedicated to Star Wars because I am a huge nerd. Claudie, you are super cool. You are super cool. So this is the Phasma painting, and I actually had it displayed on the red carpet premiere for Star Wars The Last Jedi. So I entered an art contest for Disney and did this, and a lot of people really liked it. And then for kicks, I have the actress who played her, like, standing next to it on the red carpet, which I think my family thought I was being murdered because I was screaming in my house when I was watching the broadcast and saw that it was up there and I had won. But yeah, I got a lot of compliments on, like, the painting of her armor and all of that kind of stuff. So I am going to do that for you guys today. And I have a lot of, I've transferred my my fresco, one of my fresco files into Photoshop, and I am kind of getting rid of those excess layers. But basically what I've got here is I have some values that I've just thrown in over this sketch. And I like it pretty well. I don't think I'm going to go for like a 100% like perfect likeness with this. But I am going to do my best to make it look decent. So let's jump into it. Like I said, I've got my sketch done here. I pretty much know what I need. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding a little bit more like bright values and things to her skin tone and stuff. And I do have my Pinterest board up here on another monitor. I am actually going to pull up some reference of Captain Phasma. And I say this every single time I stream here for you folks. Please, 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 if you're ever doing a painting, please use reference. Please have reference up of what you are trying to paint. It's very important. Okay. Really excited to see you go dark side today. Oh, dark side is my middle name. Literally. That's what my mother calls me. That was a lie. That was a lie. My mom mostly calls me nerd. That's usually what she calls me. That's the truth, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna bump that opacity down. I just want that to be a little bit brighter. She has her helmet off, even though the story of Phasma goes that there's no one alive in the galaxy left who knows what her face looks like, except maybe Cardinal. But we don't know what happened to him or where he went. Did you use the round brush for the grates? I used the soft round brush a lot for her armor in that first painting, actually. Yeah. I needed some airbrushing. It was really important that everything looked kind of like soft for that. So yeah, it did end up being like a lot of soft round brush because I just needed something that was going to allow me to put like some shine in, and then over the top of it I kind of go in with like a sharp brush. So you'll see. I'll show you. I'm gonna kind of erase around here because I don't want this to be too crazy. But you can see basically what I'm doing right now is I am putting in some values and then I'm carving those values away where I don't need them. And it's kind of hard to do at first, especially since, let me see, here we go. Sometimes you gotta find like the perfect brush and the perfect groove to get into in order to paint something exactly the way you want it. I frequently find myself actually experimenting with a lot of different brushes sometimes when I begin a new project, even if I already have a pretty standard list of brushes that I'm comfortable with, because I personally just like to see if maybe something's going to be different for that particular piece. Val, how can I improve at drawing faces? Replicate portraits or just reference portraits? I think that you can do a bit of both, and then also work to kind of find your own flow and style when it comes to your approach to portraits. So for example, when I go to paint a portrait, like, and I'm not going to do anything fancy, but if I'm doing, like, say I'm doing like a straight on portrait, I usually do a circle, and then I do like this egg shape here, and I'm sure everyone has heard the, like, draw an egg and then draw the rest of the face, and you're like, but where does the rest of the face come from? I typically do this. I draw like an egg shape, and then I make a new layer. I'm going to come in here with a smaller brush, and what I do is I make a diamond shape in the middle of my face, and I don't mean diamond like this. I mean diamond like a stereotypical, like, icon for a diamond, like that. And the reason why I do that is because it helps me map out what exactly I'm doing. I'm going to duplicate this and flip it just to make sure it's symmetrical, which it is not. And then I'm going to show you how I apply this. That's good enough. Boom. All right. If I draw a diamond and I put it right here, guess what? This is going to end up being the beginning of the bridge of my nose right here. This is going to end up being like the eye cavity, kind of. See? And if I put lines here, then that's going to make like under eye areas, you know? This part right here, this is going to be the bottom of the nose or the shadow of the nose. It depends on what kind of character you're making. You can kind of extend it and whatever. I can put like nostrils here and then maybe do more of a nose form. But this helps me put things in place. And I know that if this bottom part of my nose is right there, and that's like the shadow under a nose, or, you know, whatever, it depends on the lighting, but I put it there anyways just to visualize what I'm doing, then I know that here must be the Cupid's bow. It must be the little dip in a person's lip. Therefore, the opening of the mouth must be here, the corners of the mouth must be here, and the underneath of the mouth must be here. So I can come in and I can start kind of adding in little sketch marks however I think it should be. And of course, this is kind of a strange looking face because I'm not like stylizing it in any way. But I can start putting in like, okay, maybe my eyebrows would be up here. Oops. It's kind of a large brush I used just then. Maybe my eyebrows would be up here, and kind of come down. When it comes to painting eyebrows, the golden rule of makeup, so everybody knows, some of you may have heard this, we've talked about it in chat, and it actually can also be the golden rule of painting eyebrows. They're sisters, not twins. Some people they paint eyebrows so that they're exactly the same, but it kind of adds a little element of like the uncanny valley to a character. Your eyebrows are sisters, not twins. They're very similar. Their looks are harmonious and like kind of harmonize together. They belong together, but they're not identical to each other. So that's kind of how you ought to, like a rule of thumb, you ought to do for painting eyebrows. But yeah, so I can come in and I can put like more marks to give more detail. From the cheekbone, wherever I decide the cheekbone's going to be, to the corner of the mouth there, that is typically where the cheeks come in. Again, that's not true for every single character, but it's a good rule of thumb to get something in there anatomically. You can also, I also usually judge the arch of the eyebrow is typically where I make note of like the front of the skull relative to the temple, is typically where I go from there. Also keep in mind that your eyes are typically the halfway mark of the skull. If you actually look, most people will put the eyes up here and then like that's the top of the head. But if you actually look even at my head right now, my eyes are kind of in the center of my skull, correct? And this can be different depending on what kind of character you're drawing, but for the most part, the eyes are in the middle. And so you can kind of go along with that. And then I just put a chin in, and you can decide what you're gonna do with your jaw as you see fit. And this is not like a perfect face here that I've done, but this is how I get the basic structure of a face in, and then I'll put like a little thing here and color it in because maybe there's shadow underneath there. And that's how I will start a basic face, just to get things in there, and then I'll change it as I see fit. But that's how I do it. So back to Captain Phasma. I hope that helped, by the way. Pretty much like a website build platform. Oh, are you guys talking about Spark? As strange as it might sound, but creating a skeleton first and the building on top helps a lot. Just how Val is showing. For website design, indeed. This makes more sense than the classes I've taken. This is how I have started going about creating a face, because a lot of the classes that I have taken have also been kind of a disaster for me. I don't know why, but I never did quite resonate with the whole like standard way of teaching drawing. It just never really computed in my head. And I'm self-taught. I just went to YouTube and Adobe Live essentially to learn how to draw and learn how to design and things. And so I kind of had a unique opportunity where, like, if I didn't like the classes I was taking, they were online and I could just switch to a different video until I found something that kind of worked a little bit better for me. I'm trying not to detail this face. This is a bad idea to detail this face so soon. So I'm gonna make some marks to kind of accentuate her jaw, because I do want her jaw to come out a little bit, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. And we're gonna focus on the armor, because the armor is going to be what takes up the most of our time today. So let me get that. Let's do this and kind of bring that out a little bit, and then I'm gonna come in with black. All right, that works for me for now. We're gonna leave it right there. Doesn't look anything like her, doesn't matter. Also, she's blonde, and she's definitely not blonde here. The next thing I'm gonna do is actually, her cape is black. Her cape is definitely black. However, I want to add a dark background behind her, and that is not gonna go over well if her cape is also the same value as what we put in the back. So I'm going to put true black and stars and all kinds of stuff in the back. And I am actually going to make at least the portion of her cape that touches the background, not so much under here, under her arms, because that's separated by chrome. But at least the parts of her cape that touch the background, I'm going to mess with the value just a little bit. So it's still dark, and that's fine, but it's not true black. And her armor is getting ready to get bright. So it doesn't matter if it's close to value to these sketches, because it's about to get cray-cray up in here. So I'm going to come through, and I am, with a true black, going to dial in the background here. And it looks good against parts of the cape. So that was a good choice. What I'm basically making sure here, everything's in grayscale, and I'm making sure that when I look at everything in grayscale, I can see everything. Everything is separate, everything is working well together, and nothing is really getting lost in translation. All right, that is good enough for me for now. I'm gonna grab some of this. I'm gonna make her obviously more blonde. She's gonna have her hair and her face. She does have like shortish hair. At least in the book, her Turn to hate. No! I am back. Okay. This is great. Yeah, it opened 2 instances of OBS, one on top of the other. And it was showing me the one that didn't show my face. But I'm back now. Okay. And we're working on Phasma's hair just a little bit, not too much, because I don't want to spend too much time on it. We're doing good on time, though. It's literally only been 30 minutes, and we've got pretty much a scene going on here. So I think we're fine. Let the frustrations flow through you. Listen, folks. Listen. The only things that are flowing today is like the strength and power of dope Star Wars memes. That's what's happening today. Try force choking or force quitting 1 instance of OBS. That's what I did. We are here with you, VooDoo Val, human versus machine. That's how I feel every single time I turn my OBS on in the morning, and I'm like, are you going to cooperate, or is today the day that you all mutiny? As soon as I turn my computer on, I'm wondering if it's thinking about just taking over the world, and I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna put like an obvious kind of cut in the armor here. Boom, boom. Okay, now let's make this look like silver, shall we? Or like chrome. So I do have great pictures up of Captain Phasma. I think I can show you some of them. The only reason why I don't usually show you folks my my reference board is because a lot of times my reference boards also contain nude reference for anatomy, and I can't show that to you. But for images of Phasma, I think that I can. So one of the things that I'm paying attention to here as I paint this, I just have this up on Pinterest. This is actually the Hot Toys Phasma figurine that I really want because it's great, because Hot Toys makes amazing toys. But if you look, a lot of people will paint chrome, and they will think, oh, well, I can just do like a lot of white, or maybe make it gray and then just make it shiny. Did your computer have red eyes? No, my computer's eyes are actually red and gold mostly, and it makes me really worry about its alignment and moral compass. Give up, Darth Palpatine. I have the high ground. Open broadcaster software. It's essentially what's going on. Yeah, a lot of people, they paint chrome and they make it gray and they make it maybe a little bit of white and then they put a shine on it. But if you look, and I don't know much about materials and things, but I can kind of look at how this material interacts with light and mimic what it's doing. And what that is a lot of streaks of light and things that suggest certain things in the vicinity are being reflected in that armor, but it's being reflected not like a regular mirror, because the breastplate there on the chest is domed. The armor around the waist is wrapped around her waist. All this stuff has kind of like a hill, I don't know, a hill to it. I don't know if that's how you say that, but I think you guys get what I mean. So things are going to be reflected in an odd way, and I don't know if I can paint a whole scene reflected in the breastplate of Captain Phasma's chrome armor, but I can make it look like that. So I'm going to show you how to make it look like that. Also, fun fact, because I'm a nerd, and that's what I'm here to be today. Captain Phasma's armor is created from the chromium plating of Palpatine's yacht. Because she saw it, and she was like, I want that. And then she went and literally ripped the paneling off of Palpatine's yacht and made herself a suit of armor. I swear that's canon. I swear it is. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to make this a little bit smoother. Yeah. So we're going to grab some gray, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna make it smooth. Boom. Make all these pieces relatively smooth. And I'm going to put them on a blending mode because that's what it needs. All right. And right under here. Okay. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna throw this on a blending mode. I have in mind some that I think will work. This, actually, let's do screen. Screen looks good because it kind of makes it all the same flat, and there's still some texture in there, but that is good enough for me. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in, because it kind of looks like Stormtrooper armor. No, my dang was to what Val said. All good. Oh, gotcha. Oh my god, Val, you know a little too much. I'm sorry, I've read so many Star Wars books that I don't know what to do with the information, so it comes out in weird ways. Like, if you've ever met somebody that just studies weird stuff, like, it's not, like, all this knowledge about Star Wars is not really something that I can just, like, use on a daily basis in, like, regular day-to-day situations, so sometimes I just blurt it out because I've been keeping it inside too long. That's usually how this works. And then Adobe Live was awesome and gave me the opportunity to do a Star Wars stream, and I was like, oh, finally, I have something. I have something, a place where I can contribute all of my ridiculous Star Wars knowledge, and no one, I mean, I guess you can still roll your eyes at me, but it's actually necessary today. It's actually necessary and on topic. It's on brand today for Revenge of the Fifth. It's totally okay for me to do this. All right. So basically what I'm doing is I'm shading this like I would shade like anything else. And then the other things come later. All the shine and stuff is going to come later. But for now, I'm just doing this, and I'm going to put that... Am I going to put this on a blending mode? Yeah, I might. Yeah. Might do that. That's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a default brush. I'm thinking of this one. Yeah, that one looks good. So Jar Jar Binks, Sith Lord on the down low. Oh yeah, definitely. He's the Bombad, the Bombad Sith. That's how it goes. Nice outfit, Val. Thanks. Appreciate it. Why did Anakin Skywalker cross the road? Do I even want to know the punchline to this? Is it gonna hurt me, Alberto? Disney tried to trademark the May the 4th hashtag on Twitter, and they got blasted for it. They tried to, like take it? It's ours, though. It's ours. Okay. I am smoothing this out now. Making it less, making it a little bit less, texture-y. You guys know I love to favor those texture brushes. But I'm going to come through, and you can see what I'm starting to do is add these weird streaks. What are these streaks? I don't know. I'm trying to also, in doing this, I'm trying to also let you in on a not-so-secret secret that is typically only misunderstood by people who are maybe beginners or people who are I don't know. Basically maybe just at the beginning of their journey when it comes to making art. And that is that even if you do art for a living, that doesn't mean you know what you're doing. That's the truth. That's the honest truth. I'm trying to highlight that here. I am making chrome, and I can't tell you exactly why I'm doing things a certain way. Honestly, I'm mimicking what I see in my reference. And I've done it before, so I know that I can do it today. But having done it and doing it for you now does not mean that every single facet of every single thing that I'm doing in my painting today is 100% planned and known to me. I, at least for my personal painting style, I typically like to leave an element of I guess an element of the unknown in my work, because I like to be surprised. That's what keeps me engaged and involved in my own work. And I think that some people assume that myself, I myself, and a lot of other people, because they're streaming or because they've been doing it for a while, means that everything is so deliberate. And if everything is not 100% deliberate and perfectly planned in your work, then you must be doing something wrong. But I assure you that is not the case. A lot of us artists, even full-time artists, are winging it. We are winging it, folks. So just know that. And when you go to do your own work, if you really don't know what you're doing and you're kind of just letting things evolve and kind of happen as they happen, that's awesome. That's totally fine. Val, that logic applies to most jobs, actually. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think people in general like to pretend that they have a lot more know-how with certain things than they actually do. And I am an advocate for lifting the veil and showing everyone exactly how much we don't know about what we're doing. Because it feels so much better to realize that you're just like everybody else sometimes. I know that a lot of people, when it comes to design especially, in my experience, there's always that element of like wanting to be set apart from the rest of the group. Like you want to be very unique and you want to do things a certain way that make you different than every other person that's doing what you're doing. However, I have found personally that in my life and throughout my journey, one of the most satisfying feelings is realizing that I am actually more similar to everyone than I ever tried to be. And that is because it means that my struggles are not only my struggles, and my worries for my work are not only my worries. It means that everybody else has been where I am. And if everyone I have ever admired who does art has been where I am, that means then that I can get to where they are. That means that, to me, it means that everything that I desire for my own art journey is within reach, because we are pretty much the same. I'm going to bring the side of this down because it needs to come down if I'm going to make this armor accurate. There we go. And I'm going to drag a little lip across here. And it is going to be messy. It is going to be messy for a little while, folks. Let me see. But we're going to get there. I'm going to bring this up even further. I'm going to get like a kind of an arch here to this. Okay. Amen. Oh yes, and please, if you can, if you have not already, please take the Adobe Live survey. Let us know what you guys think about these streams and what we do here on Adobe Live. Yeah, give us some feedback. Okay, I'm gonna flip my canvas because I'm not liking what I see. There we go. This needs to come out more. Boom. And I have a bad habit of like looking at my Cintiq that's in front of me while I'm painting and then looking directly ahead of me at my OBS, which is not good. I'm gonna bring this out a little bit and then I can bring this out comfortably like so. And I might do the same thing over here. I'll bring that out like that just to give her a little more room. And I think I even need to bring this line out here so that I can give this more of a curve. I don't know. We'll work on that. I'm gonna make a new layer and I'm gonna add like a lip like that. I'm gonna turn that down on the lower opacity. And I am going to slim that up slightly. Okay, so this is like a first pass at this. And I'm not sure how I feel. I don't want this to look too much like a lip on there. I just want it to be like different. Not exactly what I want, but we're not gonna give up on it. First of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group everything together, and I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm going to hide that. I'm gonna duplicate this background and drag it up here, and I'm gonna merge these together. So I actually still have a version of it that's untouched. What I also could have done, actually, which I will do, is I can group this together, and I'm going to right-click it and convert to Smart Object, because now it's a Smart Object, and if I want to, I can convert it back to layers. So I'm going to grab her head, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to bump this over, and maybe up slightly. Boom. Actually, maybe over a little bit more. Let me zoom out. Leave it like that. And then in between these layers, I'm going to do some scribble. And this is kind of just how I start blocking in things like when my painting is at this particular stage. It's a lot of like hacking things to pieces and kind of figuring out how I am going to place things, which doesn't always look great at first. But like I said yesterday, you kind of have to learn how to stick with your art. You really do. Val makes all the streams fun. This is the way. This is the way. Shout out to you for the Mandalorian thing there. Kind here. Yo, what's up, Nate? It's good to see you. Welcome in, my friend. Any kind of control can ruin someone as a person. You mean like just like control over life things? I find that when I try to have way too much control Ashi over like how my painting is going to go and things, that's typically when I start to fail. When I'm trying to like, I guess, micromanage every single aspect of the creative process instead of like allowing things to develop. I am actually right now, I was kind of doing that because I put in those lines right there way too soon. This one over the arm might be, you know what, I'm gonna bring that up. I put those lines in pretty soon and kind of blocked myself from doing things a certain way. I'm gonna bring that there, boom, and I'm gonna bring this up here and make it look more like I need it to look. That might do it. And then I'm gonna put in new lines. Let's see if I can get this right. So I'm gonna bring that in from the underarm like that, and then I want to bring that in. Let me bring this, make this a little shallower, because that top part is kind of blocked. So this would technically go up and around a little more like what I want. You just can't see it. So that's fine. And then I'm going to kind of looking at my reference here. I know that I flipped my canvas, so she is going to have like a series of little things in her armor, like so, right there. And I'm also going to bow this out just a little bit more, like that. There we go. I'm gonna make sure I kind of bring this in with the black right there. Okay, I'm starting to see it. Now we getting somewhere. And then now I'm gonna put the black lines. And I'm going to bring them in from the side. From the side. Possibly. It's possible. Let's see. You ever like think about your art out loud like that? You're like, maybe Val. Did you do it? I don't know. Do you know how to draw? What are we doing? Okay, now I'm just gonna be happy with that. Because this is not like a 100% perfectly accurate likeness of the character. If I was going to do that, it would take me a lot longer because she is quite the intricate character. But now what I'm doing is I'm coming in and I'm adding like a highlight around just to kind of differentiate between the cuts in this. I want it to look kind of 3D. Like I want it to kind of suggest that there are plates in the armor, I guess you could say. So that's how I'm going to do that. And I can even come in here and I can do something like this. Let me zoom in here. I can even do something like this, and these are not all at the right size, but that's fine. Does not matter. And we're doing good on time still. I think we're gonna get a lot of this painting done, to be perfectly honest with you. Ooh, I think I'm missing messages. Yeah, I was. Sheesh, it's like a rowdy crowd at a comedian studio in here. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we've got Kevin here, we've got Jan Eric here, Steve is here, I know Kine is here, and we also have Keith. So I'm terrible at visualizing highlights and shadows. Alice Lee, yo, what is up, girl? Welcome in, everybody. You guys, if you have not already, please take a look at Alice Lee and her work. She is amazing. And we were actually on Adobe Live together hanging out just recently, and it was a blast. May the 4th be with you. Today is May 5th. It's Revenge of the 5th. That's what we're doing today. Go Val, go. You're doing great. Thanks. I appreciate it. So, this is decent. I'm gonna put, some more highlights are necessary to kind of make this look like it pops out, like it bows out from her chest a little bit more. And so let's do that. Let me make a new layer, and I'm gonna grab some white, not quite white, but like pretty close. And maybe even whiter than that, actually. I'm gonna come in, and I'm gonna place it here. Let's see. Like so. And I'm going to come in with a soft round brush, and I'm going to erase from the bottom here because I want that to kind of glow down. Let me see. Boom. I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Just erase around the edges because I want it to be kind of soft. And I might do the same thing right there, but not that much. And let's also do it here. This, though, I will go ahead and leave sharp. Boom. Okay, so I've put that in. Let's blending mode again. Lighten, let's go to overlay. Overlay does a pretty good job. I kind of want to tone it down just slightly. But that works. And now I want to put like some more serious scratches and scuffs on this. It's still like muddy in places. And I think I'm hoping that a lot of you folks who are watching and maybe hoping to paint chrome or something of the sort in the future are kind of getting the gist of what I'm doing, even though I'm not making it perfectly what is the word? I just like lost my words. Even though I'm not making it 100% perfect like chrome would 100% be, I'm hoping that the point is still getting across so that you can attempt it yourself. Okay. Now let's streak this up. Let's grab some gray. And I'm going to grab a harder round brush. And I actually, you know what else I'm going to use for reference? I'm actually going to look back at my own painting. Because sometimes when I look at my own paintings, I can kind of go back and see, like, what did I do in that painting? Kind of remember what I did. I did add, it looks like oh, you know what I added? I added light leaks. 1 second. I added, and I can actually we can make our own light leak, so that I don't have to spend time, like, hunting for a thing. I added a light leak to it. That's what I did. Okay, hold on, guys. Check this out. We're about to get cool. So if you don't know what a light leak is is exactly what I said. It's like a leak of light. It's kind of like when you take a photograph and there are kind of like blurry, warm, kind of like a weird bokeh effect in the frame, in the shot. And it looks kind of odd, but it's really cool because if you're trying to make something look like real life, sometimes adding a light leak to it is pretty darn cool. So I'm gonna just real quick, I'm gonna block some areas of color around, and this is not 100% accurate or how I'm going to leave it, but I'm just trying to like get some more white pieces in here. That is cool. Let me grab some subtle gray like this, because I want to make like some gray portions so not everything is just fading up into a light color. And then I actually hate the fact that all this is streaked. Turn that on a lower opacity. There we go. If I turn it on a lower opacity, then I'm like breaking it up a little bit more. That is cool to me. Okay, light leak. Here we go. Let's make one. So this is what I mean. I'm going to grab a color that's not quite black. I'm going to fill the canvas. I'm going to grab on another layer. I'm going to grab a soft round brush. And if you guys Google, I can actually look up light leak just so you can see what we're going for. Light leak. These are light leaks right here. These would be light leaks. And they have like textures on them, and they have, you know, like just like bursts of light and color and blur and like lens flare and craziness. So I'm going to use this color. I'm going to grab some black, like so, and I'm going to I'm just using my mouse for this. I'm going to kind of do this. I am going to grab this color, maybe make it a little more orange. And I am going to start adding random crazy things into here. Let me grab some red. Like so. And then I'm going to come up here to filter, blur, motion blur. And I'm going to change this to like straight up and down. And I'm going to bump the distance. Boom! We're starting to make a light leak. I'm going to come in with a bigger brush with the gold again. on another layer, and I'm gonna add some light pieces here. I'm gonna let's see, tone that down. Tone that up. And that might work. This might give us what we want. Let me grab some black, maybe some reddish black, so it's not true black. And I'm gonna make, I'm gonna make a smaller brush. I'm gonna make this darker. And I am going to turn this on a lower opacity, and I'm gonna start kind of tearing through it a little bit just to separate these pieces. Let's see if this works. This is not a technique that I have employed super often, but it looks like it kind of got the job done. So I'm gonna say okay. I'm just gonna merge it all with E, and what I'm gonna do, and this may or may not work, and I also didn't expect to add any kind of color this soon, but I'm gonna overlay this over the top of Phasma, and I'm going to find it. There we go. I'm gonna do my hue and saturation. You hear the sound of like aha for me. I'm gonna hue and saturate this to like more of a purple blue. Let's see if we can get I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna duplicate it is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna warp it around and add different colors to it. Let me first of all erase around the edges here. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I did that, I'm gonna duplicate this so I have an untouched copy of it. There we go. Now I'm going to make this kind of blue, and I might even desaturate it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like embers flying around and stuff like that. I'm going to desaturate it just slightly, and I am going to kind of find, there we go, that'll work, that'll do. Oh, I actually changed the color of the blue one underneath because I'm a dingbat. That's fine though. I'm gonna make this soft around the edges because I did free transform the wrong one. And I'm gonna throw this over here. That works. I think I would be a lot more precious with this and make it look a lot different. If perhaps I had more time today, which I feel like I say that all the time, because typically my paintings take me actually a lot longer than you might think. I just like kind of do what I'm comfortable doing on the stream and like kind of dive into it as much as I can to show you guys. Okay, on top of this, let's go Chrome Dome. Yes, I watched that yesterday. No, not emperors, embers. So like in this other image I did, there's like embers kind of flying around in, you know, like fire embers flying around. That's kind of what I meant. Okay, let's also give her some, I'm gonna kind of come through here again and soften a little bit of this up. I would also do things like this. Let me grab a hard round, turn the opacity up so I'm actually getting somewhere. I could also do stuff like this in the places that are not that bright. I can also come in and give it scratches. Why not? And it needs some cleaning up, but it's, for right now, I think it's getting the point across. Like when you look at this, and maybe I have been looking at my own piece too long. That's something that happens. It can very easily happen. You can be looking at your piece for so long that it stops looking like what it's supposed to be and just starts looking like what you see it as after 45 minutes or so. But it looks like it's starting to be metal to me. I think I'm going to continue this. Let me turn the opacity up. I think I'm going to continue this white down here. There we go. To kind of make it look like it's, yeah. I typically talk like this to myself while I paint every time I paint as well. I'm just adding like weird scratches because I'm sure she would have scratches all over. They're kind of just scribbles, to be perfectly honest, but I see it as amazing. You are too kind. Okay, so that's good enough for that. I am going to grab some black and I'm going to put some shadow down, and I'm going to start messing with the cape. And she's got some cape over here too. She's got some cape underneath here. She also has like a reddish kind of tail on it too. Remember? Kind of goes like so. All right. Cody Bear's here. What's up? Just a suggestion, but maybe there could be some blood stains. You know what? I was thinking about that, and I usually do that. I don't know how much they would appreciate there being blood stains on Adobe Live. I was thinking about it, but I think maybe I will not add it here, and then when I finish it and paint it up on and post it on social media later, I will add some bloodstains, because I think that it would be like super realistic if she had like scrapes on her, like on her cheek or on her forehead, or something like that, because she's like in middle of battle, and stuff like that. Paul, what's up? Love the subtle colors on the reflective material. See, okay, so we've succeeded, folks, because if Paul Tranny looks at it and he sees reflective material, then that means that we succeeded in our mimicking of chrome. Oh, you know what makes this look weird? Is that I have her cloak sitting on shoulders that aren't actually where her shoulders belong. That's one of the issues here. Because if her shoulder is here, then this shoulder is here, and it probably goes around back there. And I kind of want to put, her head down, almost like she's looking down. But I think I don't know if it's at the right angle to like do all of that. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna test it. We'll see. And I'm gonna do this again. Oh wait, maybe I don't have to. Maybe I can just move this. I'm gonna actually drag this up above everything. Ha 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 ha. Let's see. I'm gonna flip my canvas and see what it looks like. Let's bring this up. Bring it up a little bit. I'm going to paint it up in the back there. Her face is starting to bug me though, because I'm starting to need more substance in that area, and I'm not getting it with just what I got here. I'm going to also make this black, because that's like kind of under the cape. And then I'm going to, hopefully this is a soft round, and yeah, there we go. And I'm going to softly open that up. There we go. And I wonder, I think her cape might actually have that red continued. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put it here just to show that, that the cape is continuing back here, and that's what that is. And then I'm going to take like a much darker red, and I'm going to start doing this sort of stuff, so that it doesn't all look like it's just like a big streak of red. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, lightsabers and phasers cauterize wounds immediately, so would there be blood on her armor? There could be. There could be, just because I think that even though most of what we see in the films is like blaster bolts and all that jazz, I think that there are other weapons and things that people use. And if you think about it, depending on who the bad guys are fighting, they might not be fighting people that have access to military style weapons. A lot of planets that the First Order acquires sometimes are primitive planets that just have like a lot of ore and stuff that they might need for building ships and things, and they might have more primitive weapons like bows and arrows and things like that, depending on where they're at and how far advanced they are. So maybe Phasma took an arrow to the knee. Maybe Phasma took a rock to the forehead. You know, we don't know. We can build this narrative however we want. This is our painting. This is our scene. Clubbed with space foam. Paper cuts. You have no idea. They never really use knives and stuff like that in Star Wars. They don't. They really don't. They use vibroblades and things is usually the kind of blade stuff that they have, or like a weird staff or something is kind of it. Also, we still have like 20 minutes left. This is not bad. Let's grab some hair color. Let's make her blonde. Let's get some of this hair color in, and then I'm gonna focus a little bit on the face for just a little bit. That's good enough for me. Let me grab this brush, and I'm gonna grab a light color, and I'm just gonna boom, boom, boom. And we have hair. Haha, suddenly there's a hairdo. I used to be a storm soldier like you until I took a lightsaber to the knee. That's exactly what happens. That's what happens. They're basically bears. What? Wait. What did I miss? Oh. Hold on. I'm missing stuff that Kevin Worth is saying. She needs a neck. Yeah, I was thinking about putting the neck in because, he is right. Wadecuff is right. I was going for like a hunched menacing look, but then as I started to detail it, it kind of stopped looking like that. You ever do that where you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this pose, and then like as you start to detail your painting, then it's like, never mind. I guess we're not doing that. I'm gonna see if I can salvage it slightly though, because she does have like a, you know, like the cloak does come up on her neck, so I don't know, even if I showed, if I made her, her neck, taller, I don't even know if it would show because of the cloak. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna add like a little bit of skin tone. And I'm gonna bump it down slightly. And I am going to grab a brush. Does that work? I'm gonna grab the Loco brush. I like this brush. I'm gonna grab this, and I'm going to give her angry eyes. Boom. How much time we have? Oh yeah, we're good on time. This is like one of those good days where like everything I'm doing is like not taking as much time as I assumed it would. So this is pretty nifty. I feel like I have like a lot of time to do what I wanted to do today. Oops. I probably should not be zoomed in this close to my painting, to be perfectly honest. And you know what I'm also going to do, because I can, is I'm going to duplicate that eye that I just drew, and I'm going to flip it horizontal. And I'm going, not vertical, come on. I'm going to flip it horizontal, and I'm going to bump it over here and arrange it the way I want. And then I'm going to work on making them not symmetrical, because I would like to save time. And some people don't like doing that, but to be perfectly honest, any chance that you can get to save time in your work, so long as you're not plagiarizing, and you're not fooling yourself into using a technique that does not actually help you to grow, I think that you should take the opportunity, because there's a lot of aspects of doing artwork for a living that are specifically just hinging on the amount of time that you take. And sometimes, like, if you know that you can draw a face, I know that I can paint a face, you know, I know how to do that, but you're crunching on time, take that shortcut, do it, and don't feel bad about it. I know a lot of people who feel very guilty about wanting to take shortcuts and the like, and I really don't think that there's a problem with that, so long as you're not, like, be honest with yourself. Like, are you taking that shortcut because you don't have the knowledge necessary to draw that eye, or paint that hand, or are you taking a shortcut because you're like, you know, it's necessary for me to do this right now? Why are you doing it? I think that one of the best learning tools we have as artists sometimes is honesty within ourselves and to ourselves about what exactly we need to do and what we need to improve on and how we're spending our time and how we're practicing. Because I spent a lot of time not really being honest with myself about what I needed to do in order to improve. And I used to make the excuse of like, oh, that's part of my style, and this is that, and that is this. But then I really sat down one day and I realized I've been kind of lying to myself. So I need to stop taking these shortcuts and I need to just do what I gotta do. And once I did that, I got a lot better. Being honest with yourself is super hard. It can be very, very hard. I feel like she's not looking up enough. How much time do we have? We have like, ooh. Also, save your work. Please save your work. I'm gonna bump that up. And that up. Let's grab some blue. She has ice blue eyes. She's not as pretty in this drawing as I think she is in real life, and definitely not as beautiful as she was in the book. She was like an actual, like, terror, and just like a warrior the likes of which that have like never been seen in somebody who's not force sensitive. She's actually really incredible. And the one time somebody sees her face, they're kind of like in awe of like being able to see her face right then, but also in awe of like just she's like an actual beauty, but she refuses to show her face. I don't know if I like this, to be perfectly honest. I'm gonna flip my canvas and I'm gonna look at it. It's a little bit terrifying. I'm gonna redraw her nose. And I'm gonna color over this area with the mouth because I think that's what's throwing me off here. Let me grab some black. I'm gonna do some sketchy lines that don't particularly look that great at first, just so that I can get this nose in, and then I will turn it on a lower opacity and I will have a better time drawing it. If I can get my Wacom pen to do its thing. Oh! So I did a thing, and that thing that I did is that I must have hit Control and clicked something and it selected a layer underneath what I was working on. That makes sense. Okay. Real quick, in these last moments, I am going to pull up some facial reference. Not so much for her, but just facial reference in general. And I want to get a good face in here in the last 10 minutes. Preferably reference from the angle that I'm trying to draw. That would be great. Sometimes I have a lot of trouble with like angled faces. All right. You need to choose whether you can versus want to do a project. Sometimes that's really hard to do. You know what I am going to do is I'm going to block out these eyebrows. I'm going to lower the eyebrows so it looks more like, there we go. She's looking up. That's one of the things that this is missing. Cool beans. And then I'm gonna kind of trim this area to kind of bring the eyes in a little bit. Man, these eyes look mean. She looks menacing and she doesn't even have a nose or a mouth. She looks terrifying. Okay. Next step. Then I've lowered those brows. I know I want her nose to be like right here. And I'm going to make my brushes slightly bigger. Let me see. Sometimes like dropping in things where they're supposed to be at the face is like legitimately daunting for me. Like as much as I sat there and outlined a face for you guys earlier, sometimes it can still be really hard just to get things in the way that you want them, which is kind of why I would like to reiterate on like sometimes even if you do something for a living, it still can be a struggle personally to do certain things. Yeah, I'll turn this whole thing down on a lower opacity. I just don't like the way that nose looks. But maybe I don't like it because it's not the kind of nose I usually draw. I'm trying to reason with my own mistakes here. Do I hate it because it's really bad, or do I hate it because it's not familiar to me? I don't know. I'm going to find out. I mostly just hate it. That's like, I mostly just dislike it. Can you guys hear my dog trying to get into my office? My little baby dog. Do we want dog cam? We could do dog cam. I've seen people do dog cam on Adobe Live. You guys want to see my dog? My sweet baby dog? He's a sweet little boy. He's got long hair. He looks like a wolf. I'll show him. Maybe we can end with dog cam because he's really trying to get in here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys dog cam. Okay, 1 second. Let me switch to full cam right here. I'm gonna show you guys baby dog.
Good morning. Would you like to say hi to Adobe? Would you like to say good morning? Come here. Good morning. Say good morning to Adobe. Everybody's here in the morning. Yeah.
This is Pee-Pee Herman. This is this is the baby. And he makes all that noise, but he's very, very small.
It's the boy. Yes. He looks like a little wolf.
You want to see what Mommy's painting? Would you like to? Would you like to see what Mommy's... Oh, yeah, you do want to see what Mommy's painting. Let's go back and see what Mommy's painting. Dun, dun, dun. And I am going to zoom out here. She needs a mouth. She needs a mouth big time. Oh my god, it's an Ewok. Yeah. Don't step on Mommy's keyboard. Now I know that either some people are going to be like, whoa, this is cute, dog is on stream, or someone's going to be like, who let this happen? Okay, that works. I'm going to actually resize the face because I actually kind of like that. Let me see if I can get the whole face together. Ooh. And we have literally just a couple of minutes left before I have to take off, but I do want to at least resize this and bump this up. She does look low-key terrifying. I'm gonna have to make this face a lot more appealing than it is because it's driving me nuts. But we're off to a good start. We got, maybe we're off to a good start. I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. Let me grab this. I'm gonna group this one more time, and then we're gonna try. Can I? No, I'm gonna have to resize this after the stream. But I mean, I think we had, all in all, we had like a pretty good stream. Ooh, you know what I actually can do? Instead of trying to resize her face, I can trim her hair down and make the whole head smaller. Oh yeah, there we go. That works much better than trying to move everything on my disaster of a list of layers. Perfect. That looks much better. All right, so that is my sketch of Captain Phasma. I'm actually going to detail this a lot more. I'm going to move her head maybe where it's supposed to be and add some more detail on her armor. And I'm also going to add like some embers and stuff swirling around in the background. But I had a great time. I hope that you folks had a good time kind of hanging out with me. Yeah, kind of like the smirk going on too. Like she's not really worried about the fact that she's in battle. She's kind of just on her singular mission to wreak havoc. But it is time for me to go. Me and Pee-Pee Herman, we do have to leave because he needs breakfast, and so do I. But before I take my leave of you, I will let you know what is going on in the schedule. So we had the Star Wars inspired illustrations this morning with me, VooDoo Val. We had the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge coming up right after me with Paul Tranny. Lisa Marie will be here after that with illustration, followed by Claudie from Print My Soul, who will be doing the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. Marissa Blair will be here with Howard Pinsky doing the Adobe XD workflow segment, followed by Howard, who will be doing the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. And then Paul Tranny and Veronica Belmont will be rounding out the day with some work in Adobe Spark. So I hope you guys, again, I hope you folks enjoyed this segment. And I hope it wasn't too terrible watching me struggle through making a face. But you know what? Sometimes that's what happens during the process, and you get over it. You keep trying, you make changes, and you get through a painting. Try to keep this as realistic as I possibly can for all of you out there who are looking to move into digital art, or who are struggling and don't know that other people struggle just a little bit too. But we are going to take our leave of you. Say bye. Say bye, Pee-Pee. Bye, everyone. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the rest of the day.